Tune in this week's Xamarin Show, where I have my good friend Tim and Dimitri on talking about all the brand new features and XAML Hot Reload for Xamarin Forms. So tune in. Welcome back, everyone, to the Xamarin Show. I'm your host, James Montemagno, and today I have two of my favorite people and best friends in the entire world, Dimitri and Tim from the XAML tooling team. Oh my goodness. How's it going, you two?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you back. We've had Dimitri on before, but now we got Tim on. And people may not know you, Tim. Maybe you want to give everyone a little bit of short intro of who you are, because we've worked together for quite a long time.
Yeah, I was originally at Xamarin since 2014, and I had a bunch of odd jobs there. I was in like regional engineering, and then transitioned into Hot Reload, where I was doing that for a while. And now, through the trials, tribulations, and reorgs, now I'm in the XAML experience team, working on the opposite side of the Hot Reload equation, doing the XAML for Hot Reload, Forms, and Maui stuff. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, very cool. And you work side by side Dimitri. So how about you, Dimitri? In case people don't know the Dimitri.
It could happen, right? So hi, everybody. I'm Dimitri Lylan, and I'm a program manager. I work with James and Tim on .NET MAUI, but I also cover XAML tooling. So I work on anywhere XAML developers live. I cover that too.
And if you haven't noticed already, we were talking about XAML tooling updates, specifically Hot Reload updates, the best thing since sliced bread, because, you know, like sliced bread, you iteratively take off the bread one piece at a time.
You're trying really hard, James.
I don't know.
Yeah, workshop that.
What are we talking about today, Dimitri?
Sure, let's get into it. So we've been working on XAML Hot Reload for a while for Xamarin Forms developers. But just to put it in context, XAML Hot Reload has been around for a couple of years now for desktop developers. And we've had this ability if you're a WPF or EWP customer, and more recently if you're a WinUI customer. So it works everywhere. And we've decided to bring it to Xamarin Forms developers about a year ago. We started this journey, and it took us some time to get there, but now we consider this technology fully baked, GA, and available for Xamarin customers, starting with Visual Studio 16.9, combined with SDK 5.0. So if you are ever forgetting where this thing is available, check release notes. If you look at 16.9 release notes and just search for the word XAML, you will basically see all the information that we're going to cover today in demos. So here it is, changes only is GA. So I want to make this kind of clear. What is changes only? So originally, when we started this Xamarin Hot Reload journey for Xamarin developers, we created something called full page mode reload. It just wasn't great. It was better than nothing, but we knew we could do better. So we did the effort to take the more advanced technology that was available to desktop developers, and we invested a ton of time to make it available to Xamarin developers. That means we have like one pipeline behind the scenes, and this pipeline powers mobile and desktop applications, and we can invest engineering resources into one thing, make it better for everybody. So that's super exciting. And as part of the unification, I want to point out to you as a Visual Studio developer that there's now a new place to find settings for Hot Reload. So if you go to your quick search and you type Hot Reload, you'll take you to debugging Hot Reload. So this is now a brand new settings screen which combines all of the Hot Reload settings in one place. So it's available under debugging Hot Reload, but you saw through search, pretty easy to find. And you can turn things on and off. And specifically, you can choose to use changes only or full page. We do have a caveat. Changes only requires SDK 5x or newer, so the latest version of 5x. It just doesn't work well with 4.8. We couldn't give you a predictable experience. So originally, we supported it during preview, and then we had to make a hard decision. And the hard decision was make sure that the quality is in 5x. So we did that work. You can always fall back. In fact, it will pull you back to full page if you're doing like a 4.8 project, for example. But basically, Hot Reload is here. We're super excited. That means you have all sorts of tooling available to you. People often ask me to describe Hot Reload in the simplest way possible. And the simplest way I can describe it is it's the ability to go to your XAML, change your XAML, and see those changes in real time hitting your live application. And it's an experience. So it's a couple of tools working together. We have the live visual tree, which enables you to find where in your application the XAML is. So let me zoom in here. So in this case, I wasn't sure where the button was. So I expanded the live visual tree till I found the button, which coincided to the button on the right. And then I clicked on it to find that the button was right here in the XAML. And now I can go in there and do something silly like change the color of the font right here of this get button to black as an example. Tim's about to do a much better demo, but I'm just kind of laying the foundation to explain to you that we've got this settings screen, we have this live visual tree and the code editor. And if you have the settings on correctly, if you're using the right version of the tools, you're going to get XAML Hot Reload. And Tim is going to blow your mind in a second to show you just how powerful this technology is.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me, man.
You're going to do the job. I'm positive. I guess the one last thing I'll say is that we acknowledge that there might be times where you're not sure what's happening with XAML Hot Reload. So we've added something totally new. This only is available for Xamarin developers. And that's, if you can go back to my screen for a second, in the output window, we now have a brand new category. So in the output window, there's a category called Xamarin Hot Reload. And if you select that, you're going to get diagnostic information, including when Hot Reload is working. You're going to see the changes get applied. So it's just something to keep an eye on, especially if you're not sure what's happening. If we couldn't connect for some reason, if we couldn't get initialized, you'll see a warning in there. So it's quite useful. And with that, if you know about all those things, you basically have a good view of all the tooling that's available, all the settings. And I'm going to drop the mic back to Tim.
Yeah, I think before we go to Tim too, is like the cool part here is that, the XAML Hot Reload, the first iteration of it, that full pages has been available for a while. And like you said, that is a full page reload. I think Tim's really going to go what that means and why the new thing is like the new hotness, 2.0, as I like to call it, as Dimitri hates me saying it. But I love that because now it's this really unified hot reloading mechanism between all the different platforms where Hot Reload is available. So really, as a XAML developer, your experience is going to be very, very similar. And I love that because as I jump between different apps that I'm building, it's like, boom, you're good to go. And I also will say this, when you do file new project in 16.9 or 8.9 on VS for Mac, like you already get Xamarin Forms 5.0. So when you do file new, you're doing that today, you're going to get the latest and greatest. So you'll be all set and ready to go. And if you're like me, I've already upgraded every single app to Xamarin Forms 5.0 because it's a beautiful, magnificent release that everyone should be on. So Tim, though,
the lightning.
Yeah. Do you want to dive deeper into exactly what this thing means?
Yeah, sure. So for context, it's like with the original version, since I was one of the people who helped get the first version out the door, like the goal with that was to set up the mechanism for getting Hot Reload to load in the first place, right? It's like we wanted to make an experience where you didn't have to install any NuGets or, set up a web server or WebSockets and all that other stuff. It's like we wanted to make something where you just hit F5 and it just works, right? And so like we set up the IDE connection to the app and set up the bridge and all that stuff. And then it was like, okay, we have that working. Now we have to do what's the next step for getting Hot Reload to really do well. So as was said, like full page literally is basically just taking a diff of that XAML that you just changed, sending it over the data pipe to Xamarin Forms and just loading it with Forms APIs. And so with this new version, it was from the XAML Experience team, the team I'm on now, where they have a better mechanism for handling that, where instead of just blitzing all this new XAML, we're just going to make changes directly to the object you're editing in the XAML. So instead of having the case of, maybe things have to be on appearing, or maybe things have to be code behind, or, you shouldn't have to change any of your backend code. You should just have to touch the XAML and that's it. And it should just work with whatever you have. And that was really the genesis of working with them to get this stuff to work now. And now it's finally in 16.9 in the, as default, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's basically the idea is we poke the individual elements that appear on screen. Instead of us saying, we're going to reload everything on this page, it's just going to poke the single thing you tried to change. And that's it.
Gotcha. So if you're kind of like, if you're a web developer, maybe you're watching this for the first time doing Xamarin development, I often think about how I like right click and I inspect the page and I see the HTML, the DOM that's sitting there, and I can change the text and it updates on the page because it's literally the thing. It's kind of similar to that, where it's just all my data is already present, it's already loaded. So it's not going to, make any changes to anything else besides what I touch.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good analogy to it. And that's kind of what they were going with the UWP and WPF experience. And now we're trying to port that experience to Xamarin Forms and Maui.
Very cool. And I think the live visual tree that Dimitri showed off earlier is kind of like that DOM view, like almost like inspect. If I think that's what it looked like to me, at least.
Yep, exactly. It's again, like I could show it actually if you want to see it.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. So I have my application here. This is the Drastic Media app, because I wanted to make, the best, most ultimate media application for myself. Really, it's targeted for me solely. So it uses a bunch of third-party library stuff. It uses the Xamarin Community Toolkit. It has libVLC Sharp for handling the audio and media stuff. So I wanted to make something that I knew would work really well for me when I wanted to watch my favorite TV shows and listen to my music. So first thing is, as we showed, is like we have the live visual tree now. So on my Android app, we have the running state of the application. So with changes only, we have support for seeing exactly what XAML you have loaded at any time. So for example, like if I wanted to see what the recent video pages is, I can go click on it, and then you can see like here is the view. So one of the really cool things is that like if I go here, right? So this is the main page. This is the tab view, right? So let me start making a change here. Like, so this is a navigation page and it's false. Let me see if I change that to true. What happens? Oh, there we go. So now you can see it's loaded there. Well, actually, that's really ugly. I'm going to change that back. I don't like that. So like, well, I have this tab page, right? So we have videos and music. I don't really know if I like this order at all. So I kind of want to change that. So let me see if I just take this out, what happens? So I'm on this page. Oh, it just goes away. Okay. And you can see LVT updated, so nothing there. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on recent page. Oh, there we go. We lost the font icon, but that's okay. Hey, there we go. We have the page. So you can at least play around with the UI. Even if it's not perfect, you can still experiment and be like, oh, well, maybe it should be first. I don't know. Actually, well, yeah, I don't like that at all. I'm actually not going to save that. Let's see what happens there. Ah, there we go. Okay, so it's back to the way it was. So before, with our front page support, we had you save every single time in order to initiate a change. Now, I can just say, I don't want to do that. I can just leave the page entirely, and all the changes go back to the way it was. So you can basically have it so it's like, oh, well, now it's the same way. So if you notice with my music and stuff, like I have the songs up here, I have albums, and then I have artists, and I kind of want that view to also be at the top. So let me see if I go here to the videos page. Go to scroll view, and I'm going to go and let's see. We have the videos layout. I'm going to go take that. I'm going to delete it. Goes away, and then I'm going to add it back to the top. There we go. Everything reloads. Everything's fine. Okay, that seems to be okay. Well, what about the flex layout here? Like, this is wrapped right now. So let me see if, what happens if I change that to no wrap? What happens? Okay, it just shrinks down. That seems okay. Wrap. Right. Ooh, well, I guess that didn't work out as well as I thought. Well, that's okay. So it's like you have the option here of being able to make these changes all on the fly. Well, everything does. Now, the thing is like this is a pretty typical demo. So it's like everything here is pretty, rudimentary, I would think. Like, yes, we are changing the complete structure of the application. Everything is still working as normal. You don't see anything like truly unload and reload. But like, let's do something a little bit more advanced. So I'm going to load up this video here. So I'm going to pick the open source video because I know we won't get flagged for copyright.
Okay.
I'm thinking about this stuff, So we have the video loaded here. And so this is using VLC for its video playback. And I have the controls here. And also you can see LVT. Oop, you have the navigation page, video page right there. So I'm going to click on that. And so like, I don't know if I want those controls there. Let me add that to the top. Oh, oops. Sorry, start. I always use top. You see there? Look. I'm gonna add that back. There we go. So you can see I have unloaded the page, I've reloaded it, and we have that in center. Let me do that. There we go. Let me add it back to end. I don't know if I want that there. All right. So you can see though that the video is still playing, everything is still loaded. You can see the slider, everything here still works, nothing is broken. If I tried this with full page mode, the app would crash, because it would try to reload this video view and go like, I can't do that, and just stop. But because it changes only, we can manipulate the rest of this UI while being able to have all of the other support underlying this app still run at the same time. So again, we couldn't do this before with full page. We can do this with the XAML Experience tooling. So let's see music, right? So again, have my music view here, and I have a song. So let's see here. All right, so we have now a little view where I have a not lifted at all from Pulse Music media cover art spinner. And I have my, play buttons and stuff. And you see everything synced up fine. So let's see here. If I go here, I have Circle Gradient. I have a SK Canvas view. You can also see here that I have stuff that is defined in XAML and stuff that's not. I can also turn that off by having just my XAML turned on. So I can say, okay, these are only the elements I have actually declared in my XAML. So you don't have to see any of the underlying stuff. But in this case, I like seeing it because it's like, okay, I know now this is an skcanvas view. So I know, okay, this is where it's defined. So let's see here. Let's see if I go to this canvas and let's change this. All right. Oh, there we go. Just put away a little sec. So we have, while the animation is playing, dynamically change the view. Let's say I also want to add some album art here. I'm not used to that. So if I change that there, I want to add the album. Let's go do that. So yeah, you can see though that like while all this is happening, there's music playing in the background, which you can't hear, but there is also like, you know, this spinning animation. And if I was running this in full page, again, it would not work. I would lose all of that because it would have to reload every single asset. Yeah. But because I can do this, I can just say like, you know what, I don't like any of this stuff. I'm just going to get rid of all of it. And then, it's gone. I just made it much bigger and add it back. Okay, now it's gone.
That's very cool. So it's like you're really able to see your application running and all of your data, and it's not reloading your data, it's not changing. It's like your real application running and just doing those quick diffs to make you super hyper productive.
Yeah, there's actually there is one more thing I want to show though, if we have time for it, just really quick.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, just one more thing. So I've only been showing Android, so you know, we have to show the iOS love, and I have the iOS sim down here, if you notice. So it's like, I want to see if I can get this to run on iOS, but I also want to try this with Android as well. So we're going to do something that doesn't get enough support because it's really hard to find, but we can actually do hot reload across multiple devices at the same time, including with this new changes only mode. So if you set up your application to run with multi-deploy, I could do this. And then hopefully, if it works right, after I set this back to any CPU.
This is one of those hidden features that you need to, it's for all project types. It's not like a Xamarin specific thing for multi-deploy at least, but
I added the hot reload version in our 1.0 release, but you just never knew it was there because it's so hard to find.
Yeah.
But I made sure once I knew this was possible, I'm like, I gotta add this as a feature because it's really cool when it works. So the key here, though, is that once you set up your application to run with this, what happens is we detect when the debugger event happens because that's how we connect to the application in order to send these events. So we can capture n number of devices when they're running, as long as they're different devices. As long as you can set it up there, we should be able to connect any of them. So on Visual Studio for Mac, we've had a Mac, an iOS, and an Android application all running at the same time with hot reload occurring with changes only mode. Which is really nice. So here I have the Android agent.
Yeah, it even works with like UWP. So if you're on Windows, you can do Android, you can do UWP. If you're just doing desktop development, we support it there. So you can have like a WPF, like 2 WPF apps. You can connect to 2 of them at a time.
Oh, cool.
So this feature was added like to the foundation. That's the cool thing about having the shared pipeline. It's really awesome.
Yep. It's like, again, it's really freeing to know, especially coming with Maui too, because it's like getting this to also work with the Catalyst stuff and also just thinking about the expansion this will offer, like with .NET itself is like, you know, it's really cool to be on the ground floor of this sort of stack. So it's nice. But yeah, like here we have the iOS app and the Android app running at the same time, right? And we have 2 different process heads here. So I have Android and iOS. And you can see though that like I can navigate to different pages here. So this can go to the video page and this can go to music. And you can see that each head is respected differently. So you can see that here's the music page, here's the video page. Everything's working as you would expect. And actually, an interesting thing is, let's get both of them running at the same time. Let's see here. Oh, actually, I have an issue here. So let me fix that. So I'm going to go to iOS. Let's see, where is this? This is grid, circle play button. All right, what is this? I think I just need to set width and height. Fine. Request, or whoops, height request. 85. There we go. Okay, there. So that looks about right. So yeah, it's like when you have multi-deploy set up, like you can see these changes between devices much easier and go like, oh, it's broken there, and verify that it works on both of them still. So it's like,
so awesome.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, now I don't have to worry about like, oh, I just fixed this in Android, and then I go to my iOS device and it's like, oh crap, it's broken there. Okay, let's set up the on device, blah blah blah, and all that rigmarole. You don't have to worry about that. You can now just run both of them at the same time and say, oh, okay, now they're both working.
Very
so yeah.
cool. Awesome. I love it. I love that final demo too, because it shows off like how powerful it is. Well, Tim and Dimitri, thank you so much for coming on and showing off all the awesome stuff.
Yeah, been awesome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And as new XAML productivity features comes out, I'll be sure to have Dimitri and Tim back on and others from the team to talk about all the awesome stuff. I want to thank each of you for hanging out, using Xamarin, and checking out all the new features of Hot Reload. Be sure to reach out to Dimitri. He loves when you tweet at him all the things that you want in the product, so definitely reach out to him. But if you're here already, don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get notified every time we put out a new episode here on the Xamarin Developer channel over on YouTube, or leave comments below on Channel 9, and we'll have links over there for absolutely everything you need. Anyways, I'm James Montemagno. This has been another Xamarin Show. I appreciate your time, and have a good one.